Lost Coast Ranch. Today we are reunited with an old Rover friend. You probably already know what it is by the thumbnail, but this is one of my favorites in the collection. So that's right, the old helmet, the Range Rover Camper, is back at the ranch. Big shout out to Bidler Services here in Dubuque. They pulled this out of the shop when we had to move and hung on to it for a little bit for me because I had gravel sitting where it needed to be, like a smart person. So why did we have to have this guy towed after it made a nice 2,000 plus mile trip back from Montana? Well, when we were moving out of the shop, went to fire it up. After it was sitting for probably 3 months, no oil pressure. So shut it down, mechanically checked oil pressure to make sure that the light wasn't lying, and it has no oil pressure, so didn't want to risk doing any damage to the new 4.6 that it has in it. So here we sit. And in another Genius Joe move, there's my driveway. There's my non-running Range Rover, smack dab in the middle, so we'll have to yank this guy and we'll put it up by the garage and drop an oil pan, pull an oil pump gear. I'm sure that broke. Never a dull moment when you have a fleet of old Land Rovers, that's for sure. If you're ever bored, take up collecting Land Rovers. You won't be bored again. I think I want to take the plasti dip off and see what we're working with underneath here. That blue is pretty cool. And I like the original color combo of this thing, but I'm sure something is all messed up. I'm guessing the paint in this vicinity is pretty chooched because it lit on fire once. So this is why you have multiple Rovers. So you can pull one with another one because one's bound to be broken. One more pull, should be good. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. So we're gonna go all the way. All right, so we got it up here. Now I just need to back it in to there. We'll have to move the bottom kitty. I want it sitting somewhere right there because then I can drop the pan here. Sure would be nice to have a shop soon enough. And that guy right there is the reason why I went with a 12-foot door. Everything else I own, 10-foot would be plenty. But right now on the 33s, it rubs pulling it into a 10-foot opening. So when it goes back on the 35s, and depending on what we change with the solar configuration and whatnot up top here, ow, that was higher than I thought, definitely wouldn't clear. So 12-foot door it is because of the big ol' stormtrooper looking camper. Was that too much work for you, Sasha? It's rough when you're the boss. All right, so theoretically we're gonna use a little gravity and back her in right there. I did that with the 944 and gravity didn't help me as much as I would have liked. So this thing's a little heavier. Maybe that'll help, but if not, it's gonna be less fun to push. We'll give her the old college try. You know what you have to do before you can roll it? Unhook the damn thing. Some days I wonder how I have gotten as far in life as I have with the way I go about things. That worked about as well as I was expecting. My mind's going in a bunch of different directions, and I ran it out of fuel. And you know how fun that can be in a mechanical injected diesel, so hopefully we get her fired up. Might have to crack some injector lines. Almost. All right, so got the lines cracked. We're gonna crank on it, see if we can bleed some air out of the system and get this guy fired up again so we can go back to grading out our little road a little bit. See, we're getting there though. I'm just trying to do all this before the building's up because it is easier to clean up everything without a 20-foot tall box in the way. I'm starting my little rock collection here. Pretty much a limestone quarry going on. Also, we are about to grab the trusses for the building. And I don't have a set of forks for the Bob Kitty, but Ted does. I also don't have the Kubota anymore, so no need for the brush hog. So I'm gonna drop that off, give that to Ted, and pick up his forks to borrow. So like I said, it does have oil in it, and this just has a few thousand miles on a new Atlantic British 4.6, so don't want to ruin that. It appears we have a gearbox leaking now too, but no, the nice thing is this thing has a decent sized lift on it, so it's not as bad as it could be dropping the oil pan and getting the front cover off. There's plenty of room in there. Not the end of the world, but for those of you who are new and have not seen this on the channel before, this is our 1995 soft dash Range Rover Classic that obviously is far from factory. This was once owned by Rover Life on Instagram, I believe. I have dirt on my face. That's less annoying now. But they took this and drove down to the country of Panama and lived in it down there. So this thing has been well traveled. We found it on Bring a Trailer. Ted and I flew out to Montana and drove it back to Iowa. Quite a fun 2,000-mile trip. Never skipped a beat. But it has a camper from a 76 Toyota grafted on and is quite large. It needs some TLC. It's just been kind of sitting neglected for a little bit. So what we are going to do is we're probably going to rebuild this door. That door flips up and becomes like an awning, but it's kind of chooched out and cattywampus. So I think I'm going to just do an aluminum frame and skin it. Then we got some fiberglass work to do. We got a little creative engineering going on to lock this guy in. Shouldn't be like that, so we'll sure it up. It's got this cool little freaking handle there. Does have a toilet though, and a water heater. This is actually capable of some longer haul trips, but we got flip down bed and some benches and whatnot. New vent for the ceiling, but it's pretty dated. So what we are going to do is gut this guy, and we should be doing some of that soon. And we got a propane fired fridge, and we're gonna get rid of that and do an electric one. This thing did light on fire because the pilot light for the propane fridge is there, gas fill there. I bet you can imagine what happened next while filling up, but didn't happen on us, happened on a previous owner. And this also can pass through from the front seats, which is pretty awesome for something this size. And quite possibly my favorite thing about it is the rear doors still work. There's our water tank. We're gonna clean all of that up. Not that it doesn't function, just gonna straighten it out some. Sasha, you excited to go camping in a Range Rover? This and the Nata 109 are going to be some fill-in projects during the periods where we are waiting on parts for the LS3 Defender. Just because I want to keep rolling on stuff. And this will be a good one to tear apart, so we'll try and get it tore apart before winter. That way, once the shop's up, we can start fancying up the inside with some new cabinets and whatnot. But first, we got to fix the oil pressure issue so we can move it around. We got this much closer to how it's going to be finally graded. Got our berm started. Need to remove a couple rocks, but as it turns out, rocks are heavy. And also went ahead and raked the hill out here. But just wanted to get that all straightened out before we have a building in the way. We'll get the pressure washer out and bust the rest of this stuff off, but I'm starting to see why there is some black plastic dip on there. But I do like that color. It originally was that with like an almond color top instead of white. But let me know down below what you guys think. Should it go black and white like it is, just freshened up? Or should we go back to the blue with the almond classic vintage camper color? Or if you have suggestions on any other color combo, be happy to hear it. With that being said, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks everyone for subscribing, and we will catch you on the next one.